Welcome to Lesson 6 in the FL Studio tutorial series. In this lesson we're going to explore how to record steps and notes into the step sequencer and piano roll live using the record feature. We will not be programming our pattern with a mouse as we did in the past lessons. Instead, we'll program by playing live using our typing keyboard or a MIDI controller. First, let's make sure your typing keyboard is enabled to send notes to FL Studio by making sure the typing keyboard to piano keyboard switch is checked. You can also get to this and all other switches under Options. Now, any keys you type on your typing keyboard should trigger notes in the selected channel. Right-clicking this switch will allow you to change the bass note, which adjusts the octave range of your typing keyboard. In order to record live, we'll first use the record button. Upon first clicking this button, you may get a pop-up asking what you want to record. For now, just choose everything, and then also you may want to check the box that says don't show this again. I've already done this, which is why you don't see it now. Once you've closed the box pop-up, then you might want to go up to the record button again and right-click on the button and make sure that only score is checked. These actions have only armed the software for recording. It won't actually start recording until we now hit play. But before we try recording what we play, let's examine some of our recording options and tools. The first tool we may want to use is the metronome, which can be found under the typing keyboard to piano keyboard button. If we click this, it will play an audible sound in time with the orange light at the bottom of the step sequencer's crossing of the first step in each beat. This can help having something to keep in time with when you begin laying down the notes of your first drum track. Right-clicking the switch allows you to change the metronome sound to a tick, hat, or a beep. This sound is only an aid and will not show up in your final exported sound. The next tool is the countdown before recording tool, which, if enabled, will give us a lead-in of however many beats are in our bar. So in a 4-beat per bar pattern, it would click 4 times before recording starts, allowing us to prepare and know when to start playing. You can right-click here to adjust the count to match the beats of 1 bar or 2. The next tool is the Wait for Input to Start Playing tool. This tool is the alternative to the previous tool in that it will wait for you to play a note before it begins recording. The two are typically not used together. If you use the Wait tool, it may also wait before playing. If so, right-click to choose Only when recording. Another tool that will aid us in programming our pattern live is the Blend Recorded Notes tool that allows you to add notes to what has already been recorded previously. Lastly, another useful helper is the Loop Record / Enable Overdub switch, which will allow the pattern to loop during recording and allow you to add notes as it continues to loop. You'll want to use these last two tools together for the best results. Another adjustment to make before we begin recording is our main snap quantization. Just as we used the Snap to Grid tool in the piano roll in the previous lesson, we can use it here to help us align our playing with certain note lengths, or we could choose none and just wing it. The final adjustment we should make is to our tempo. We can use the metronome to help us hear how fast or slow our pattern moves prior to recording. Another thing to know is that once you've found your tempo, yet are intimidated by recording your live playing at that speed, you can always right-click the tempo and choose Twice Slower to slow the tempo down to half its speed to aid you in recording in time. Once we actually record, which we'll do now, our work gets added to the step sequencer into the piano roll as a score that we can go into the piano roll to further edit as shown in our previous lesson. One final tip you should be aware of. If you were playing around with the typing keyboard prior to recording and you came across a nice melody that you can't now recreate only a few seconds later, Know that FL Studio is constantly monitoring your inputs in the background, and you can access the melody by going to Tools, Dump Score Log to Selected Pattern. Using the piano roll, you can then track down the melody in the score and see how it was played. Thus ends our lesson on recording live into the step sequencer and the piano roll.